Rams fans, welcome into Rams Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Baggs. Tonight, we checked on the offense last week. This time, check in on the defense, plus drama in the second round, and later ramping up the weirdness in today's fan queso. So let's rock.
This is Rams Showcase with your host, Sheriff Joe Baggs.
Yes, welcome into it, Rams Showcase. I am Sheriff Joe Baggs at Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Baggs. That's where you can follow along on socials, and ramshowcase.com. Also, we do appear on other podcasts. There is it's Tuna and the Sheriff with Tuna of the First and Tuna podcast. Also, this is being recorded on Tuna's birthday, so shout out Tuna. Welcome to the older age, man. It's taking you a bit to get here, but this is what 34 is like. Welcome to the other side of it. We did just celebrate 34 years of existing here. It's rather exciting stuff. I celebrate my birthday on Jeff Fisher Day. That's rather exciting. But no messing around, dude. Let's go ahead and hop into the business here. We are looking over the defensive roster. I'm not giving you predictions as far as who's going to make the roster or any depth chart information, anything like that. We're just kind of looking at each position group and then kind of diving into each of those individually. Again, if you did miss the offensive breakdown, that happened in episode 6, so be sure to check that out. Season 10, episode 6 of Ram Showcase, that is out and available wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Video version available on YouTube. Search Ram Showcase there, as well as the Ram Showcase Facebook page. That is also where the Tuna and the Sheriff is streamed live. So the Ram Showcase Facebook page, definitely where you want to be at. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the defensive line. This is headed by Kobe Turner, Poona Ford, Braden Fisk, Tyler Davis, Desjuan Johnson, Laurel Murchison, Ty Hamilton, Jack Heflin, Bill Norton, and Dejon Terry. Very loaded group here. We absolutely love to see it. Turner, Ford, and Fisk. That combo is absolutely nasty and does expect to be our top 3. I absolutely love Bobby Brown, but I do feel like we got better here with Poona Ford coming in as that run defender. I think that is an upgrade there. I'm very excited to see the impact that Poona Ford does have with this defensive line. There's some really strong depth here as well. Tyler Davis, Desjuan Johnson. These are guys who have played really good football when they've touched the field. That just hasn't happened that often. So it is good news, though, that these guys are really good. One thing to watch for Tyler Davis, and I've been pounding the table on Tyler Davis since he showed up here. Watch him off the line. It is absolutely great. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for that from the fan base and from the people who cover this team, that his first move off the line is very, very good. Obviously, if you got to be able to do more than that, and Tyler Davis, I think, is progressing really, really nicely. But him off the line is something I'm a big fan of. I love to see it. Murch as well. He's one of those guys that he comes in, he makes plays. We just don't see him that often, but I am certainly a big Murch fan. If you followed Ram Showcase, you definitely know that. Ty Hamilton, the rookie, is coming in. Really solid rotational piece. He's got the option to at least be that, the opportunity to at least be that. So something to watch for in the preseason. I do expect that Ty Hamilton will get his fair share of reps when the practice games do begin, but look for him there and kind of see how he's fitting in, how he's attacking out after the quarterback, and how he's filling those run lanes. That will indicate, I think, at least a little bit of at least how much playing time he could be getting once the regular season action does begin. And it's really the defensive line. It's a strength of the entire roster. If you look at any of our position groupings, this is just as good, if not better, than any of them. So I don't think it's not a group that makes me nervous. I can at least say that. I feel like even if we do see some injuries or some playing time missed at all in any capacity, this is a room of killers, and that's absolutely good news. And I mean, Gift Smith, defensive line coach for the Rams, I think like finishing has been his biggest push this offseason throughout like Maui camp and going into training camp, finishing the plays. So that's something to watch for as we get into the preseason times. Let's move over to inside linebackers here. We have Omar Spates, Nate Landman, Chris Paul, Tony Fields, Eli Neal, Troy Reeder, and Sean Dolak. So the Rams play a lot of nickel, so it's a lot. It's reasonable to say that there's going to be one of these guys on the fields in any given situation. Obviously, there could be times where we see more, but seeing one inside linebacker makes a lot of sense in the way that the NFL is today. I mean, obviously, it's a very much a passing league. And if you can get a slower linebacker out there for somebody like a Cam Kinchins or a Jalen McCullough, I mean, chances are you kind of want to try to do that. You know what I mean? Get that speed out there as these wide receivers be flying around for sure. But Troy Reeder, he seems to be a guy that is a coach favorite. He finds himself getting a fair amount of playing time. We'll see if that is a trend that continues this year. Omar Spates, he had an awesome rookie season, and that jump from year 1 to year 2, I think is going to be critical for him in his future of just getting playing time. Because you also have somebody like Nate Landman who comes in, who I think is an underrated addition. I don't think he gets talked about enough from the national media as well as the Rams media itself. I think that this is a really, really good addition for the Rams defense, and I think he has a chance to make a really big impact. Pooh Paul, the rookie coming in, he seems to have just what I would call maximum potential. He's got all the potential in the world. This guy can be one of the best in the league at his position. We got to see that potential turn into production, though, and obviously we need to see him on a football field before that can even happen. No point in really hammering is he good yet? It's July and he's going into his rookie season. We don't know yet, dude. We gotta let him get out there and start flying around and crushing some skulls, man. And then we'll know for sure. But my ultimate guess is that Pooh does not get a lot of playing time this season, but I do think that we see a lot of flashes of just what I would consider just his pure excellence, pure athleticism coming from Pooh Paul. And I feel like going into 2026, Pooh Paul is very much the focal point in this conversation when it comes to inside linebackers. So that's what I would consider looking out for from my perspective. I could be very wrong there. We could see him get all kinds of playing time out here, but that's kind of what I'm thinking happens here. And then also, we got Fields, Neal. They are not bad players at all. It's a pretty loaded group, I'll be honest, but so it's going to be tough for them to stick around, but they've got a great chance to put out some good tape, whether that's for us in sticking around practice squad or even as a depth piece to get some special teams action, or if that's to go to another team that actually has more of a position need in that spot, then they can go check it out. And Dolak is also a solid player coming in as a UDFA, but I would anticipate the real battle here is going to be with Spates and Landman. Reeder, I think, gets at least into that conversation a lot. But also Chris Paul is somebody to certainly keep our eyes on as we head into the season. Outside linebackers, Jared Verse, Byron Young, Keir Thomas, Josiah Stewart, Brennan Jackson, Nick Hampton, Jameel Muhammad, and Josh Piercy. So Verse and Young, they are obviously the top duo there. Sick combo. This entire room, though, absolutely filled with talent. Thomas, Jackson, Hampton, these guys have shown strides every single year. And in limited reps, some of these guys make really, really good plays. We haven't seen a lot of Brennan Jackson, but he's out there flying around. We haven't seen a lot of Nick Hampton, but every time he's out there, I'm kind of drawn to watching him, and he does such a good job. Keir Thomas can absolutely create pressure, so this is a very solid depth group for the Rams as well. I think the entire front, though, for the Rams is loaded with absolute monsters. Josiah Stewart, he comes in as the rookie. Again, loaded room, but he is mad athletic and I think can certainly fit into that rotation. I do anticipate him getting some reps this year. Byron Young, I would say BY seems to be forgotten a little bit with Verse getting so much attention now. But Byron Young, I think, is even in the Rams perspective, from Rams fans' perspective, I would say that Byron Young is slipping down as far as the awesomeness, but for no reason at all. Byron Young is an absolute killer out here, and him opposite of Jared Verse should be a reason to be excited. We shouldn't be forgetting about Byron Young because Jared Verse is so sick. We should be getting more excited for Byron Young because Jared Verse is so sick. A lot of attention is going to go to the other side. A lot of that help is going to go to the other side. This is Byron Young's time to shine for sure. This combo, though, absolutely has all the tools to be the sickest pass rush duo in the entire NFL. I absolutely believe that. I mean, let's not also forget, we're talking about Verse going into year 2, Byron Young going into year 3. These dudes are young, could dominate the league for the next decade if we let them, man. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Moving over to the corners, Darius Williams, Akello Witherspoon, Kobe Durant, Darian Kendrick, Emmanuel Forbes, A.J. Green, Sean Jolly, Josh Wallace, and Charles Woods. again, loaded group. I feel like I'm beating that dead horse so hard here, but I love the talent that this team has right now. It's just rather exciting. It's to the point. We talked about this years ago when Sean McVay first showed up, that like I was just excited to be cutting good players because for a while we were keeping players who had no business being in the NFL, but we just needed bodies and no one wanted to come over to us. So it was good to see. It's like, oh man, I like that guy. And we cut him. We had to. Look at the other guys. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're in that spot again right now. And that's good and bad because obviously we're going to be losing players that we actually like. But it's because there's so many awesome players that are on this team right now. So you got to take the good and the bad. But this would be the only group that I would say kind of makes me nervous. But it's also just loaded with absolute monsters out here, man. Absolute ballers. So I don't know how nervous I am to see this group out here. I just don't think that anybody's stood out yet. And I think that that's really what my brain is kind of latching to. I feel okay saying that the starters are a little bit up in the air heading into camp and heading into the season, but as they should be. You know what I mean? While this group has some extreme talent, like I had said, I mean, obviously, Darius Williams, Ahkello Witherspoon, Kobe Durant, Darian Kendrick, these guys are very, very good. But I would say that any of those guys could be the clear-cut number one guy on this defense and in this corner room. Specifically, any one of these guys I think can be the number one. Is it Darius Williams? Yes, it is. But Ahkello Witherspoon, Kobe Durant, Darian Kendrick, Emmanuel Forbes, I think these are all guys who might be our best corner. You know what I mean? I think that that's my ultimate point is I don't think any of these guys have stepped up in a way where we can say, yeah, clear cut, put him on that team's number one all day long. That's who you have to have on the number one. I think that we have a bunch of guys who are really, really good football players, but none that you're like, yeah, obviously it's him. It's like, it could be him, it could be him, it could be him. We'll probably be okay because these guys are all monsters, but we don't know which one is like the clear cut, yes, this is your guy, put him on him. And that's what I think my ultimate point is. We'll likely see a bit of a rotation too. Guys like Green, Jolly, Wallace, Woods, they have a chance to come into camp and get some preseason action, and I don't think there's anything extreme about saying that these guys might get onto the field when live action is happening. Because in this grouping, like I said, no one has really stuck out yet. So if a Sean Jolly comes in, who I really like, comes in preseason and is absolutely balling out, dude, let him get reps. For sure, let him get reps because we need somebody to really rise up. But I would say it's probably the most up in the air group on the entire roster. But I guess we're gonna. I think too. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of different starting lineups, and it's gonna depend on who we're playing. And I don't have any examples for you right now as far as who I think would come in certain situations. But there are teams that I think that, you know, putting Kobe Durant on the outside over Ahkello Witherspoon is the better call. I think that Darian Kendrick gets a lot more reps and starts than most fans anticipate. I think that he is extremely talented, very underrated, especially in the eyes of Rams fans. I think other teams appreciate his talent more other teams' fan bases. I think appreciate Darian Kendrick's talents more than Rams fans do. But I'm here to tell you, I'm not one of those, dude. I think DK is so sick, and I hope he gets a starting job. Honestly, I think that he's talented enough to be opposite of D Will and make that combo really, really good. And then Witherspoon and Kobe, dude in the middle. Yeah, I'm fired up about it, man. I like it. Although, like I said, there's been nobody that's like shown that like, yeah, they're clear cut in our top corner. That's kind of the reason that I wanted Jalen Ramsey. I love this group, or I like this group a lot. I love this group a lot. If we had Ramsey and then pushed everybody down just one slot, I think that would have been really, really nice. But our Super Bowl hopes did not hinge on Jalen Ramsey's presence. We're still Super Bowl contenders, whether or not he wants to go play in the chilly Pittsburgh weather. Let's go to safety now. So Cam Curl, Quentin Lake, Cam Kinchins, Jalen McCullough, Tanner Ingle, Malik Dixon Williams, and Nate Valcarcel. So while Kinchins and McCullough, they showed up some really good times last year. Obviously, we had McCullough get the pick six against Jordan Love. That was Jordan Love's first pick six. Got to see that in person. Absolutely awesome. Kinchins was an absolute red zone destroyer of the Seattle Seahawks. What was that, week 9, I think? Something like that. Absolute killing Geno in the red zone. That was so much fun to watch. But it's obviously Curl and Lake that are the top two guys here. So The depth is really strong, though. I mean, like I said, Cam Kinchens, Jalen McCullough, Tanner Ingle. He's been popping some people in preseasons and stuff like that, so love to see that. Hopefully we see that more again this year. But we've got enough depth that somebody like Dixon Williams could totally find a slot by showing up big in camp. He could definitely I think we've seen it plenty of times. You block a punt and get 2 big hits in the preseason, and fans are going to be on your side. Fans are going to be pounding the table for you. It's all you need to do, dude, to have the fans start pressuring the team to keep you around. Block 1 punt and just lay 2 dudes out. We got your back after that, dude, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Quentin Lake too. I think that ultimately, he is the ultimate leader in this grouping, and I think he's really primed for like a true breakout this season. This feels like he's really starting to settle in, and that this is the year that Quentin Lake is really just gonna explode. So I mean, buy whatever Quentin Lake stock you can get your hands on. It's bullish in 2025. All right, for sure. Also, we're gonna touch on special teams while I got you. And we'll start with kicker Joshua Carty. Carty on, Wayne. Need I say more? 23 years old. Kid's awesome. Punter Ethan Evans. He is going to hit the ISS out of orbit one day. Probably going to hit it so hard that it just rockets into the moon or something like that. And then realistically too, I mean, look at who he is, what he went to college for, and what he's doing now. He's probably going to become like a trainer or a coach once he's done playing. But again, he's only 23 also. So that's like a while away, you know what I mean? And then also, long snapper Alex Ward. We never hear his name, which is exactly what you want from your long snapper. And I'll say this too, no lie, man. I think that he is doing so well in this spot that I hope that Alex Ward is a Ram for the next 20 years. All right, and that would put him at 46. He's only 26 now. I think that's absolutely awesome. But I think that this dude is extremely underrated. Went from Jake McQuaid to Alex Ward. We had a little bit of a season or two in there of the Orzex and all that stuff. But Alex Ward coming in, man, he's doing an awesome job. We never hear about Alex Ward. And again, I hope he's here for a long, long, long time. He was named to the Order of Pegasus. Dude, Alex Ward for president, man. I'm on this one, man. Alex Ward is one of the best players on this team, and you're not going to convince me otherwise, dude. Alex Ward for president. Our entire special teams unit is so young. We could, in theory, keep this combo together for 10 years easy. You know what I mean? Like that would put Alex Ward at 26 or 36, the old guy. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I'm just saying, man, this could be awesome. And they're coached by the Ohio kid, Chase Blackburn. I think our special teams is sick, dude. If we can nail down returner, and I think it's going to be Britton Covey winning the job. That's just my own opinion there. I think that this special teams unit is rather exciting. Again, if you missed the offensive version, you can check that out in episode 6 of Ram Showcase. We're going to hit a quick break here, and then we'll get into your news. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back into Ram Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Baggs. Now time for the news. The NFL Top 100 list is well underway. We finally got our first Ram on the list. Kyren Williams coming in at number 85. He did come in at number 78 last year, so a very small drop. All right, let's not pretend like 7 slots is a big drop. I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, he was higher last year. It's 7 slots in the entire NFL. Dude, he's fine. He's doing fine. He's, obviously he's a really good running back. He's one of the best in the NFL. It's nice to see him getting that recognition 2 years in a row. The kid is absolutely awesome. I know the complaints, the top end, like can't break out and hit like an 80-yard run, anything like that or whatever. But I mean, watch him play in the small areas, man. There's no one that's doing it like he is today. He is today's Le'Veon Bell. You know what I mean? Like how Bell used to be so good in those short yardage situations. Now he had that top end speed, but I see a lot of that slow patience from Kyren Williams. Absolutely love to see it. According to his peers, the 85th best player in the entire NFL. First Ram to show up so far, others are expected. Cool news for the coffee lovers like myself. The Rams have announced a partnership with the Green Coffee Company. That means during home games at SoFi, fans will now have access to the Juan Valdez 100% premium Colombian coffee. That's absolutely incredible. And it's not like I get tired at Rams home games or I need a bit of a pick-me-up, but there is something nice that I can add a little bit more heat to my miniature pacing in front of my seat because I'm not a sitter during a Rams game for sure. And now I can amp that up a little bit. Watch out, home games. You're going to get a little bit more obnoxious Sheriff Joe Bags. We love to see it. Also, in other news, it is starting to get a little bit more attention. I like to think that I was a little bit of a domino of this. Probably not. But, yeah, we talked about it, I think, last week. The unsigned Terrence Ferguson. This is getting a little bit more news now, as it is not just Ferg. It's not just Ferg dealing with this as far as the second-round picks go. 30 of the 32 second-round picks do remain unsigned. One guy got a fully guaranteed deal, and now they all want it. Fair enough. I do fully anticipate that this spirals into something that becomes a contentious topic when the CBA comes up. But I also don't think that it's not fully unrelated. that was too many. I think it's related. That's all. Just cut out all those. I'll cut out all the negatives. I think it's related to the NIL stuff in college. And I think it's breaking the system. I think it's even leaking into breaking the NFL system. That's why we don't have Terrence Ferguson under contract already, as we are very close to heading into training camp. July 22nd is the official start of training camp. It is the 13th now. So we're getting there, dude. We are absolutely getting there. But I do think that is leaking into the NFL now. I think it's very unfortunate. I don't have a fix. I don't have a solution. I don't know that much about it. I'm not smart enough to dive into the numbers of all of this stuff. But some of these guys are taking pay cuts to come to the NFL, and that's problematic. When you become a pro and take a pay cut to do what you're doing, that's tough business. Tough business. All right. So I'm not sure what a solution is, but I do think that this is something that crumbles eventually. I think the NIL is it's going to be a weird thing. I don't know how sustainable that all is. Maybe it's super sustainable. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know, dude. Former Rams defensive lineman Ndamukong Suh announces his retirement. Suh did help the Rams get to the Super Bowl 53, where they lost to the New England Patriots. Suh was part of that Bradford draft in 2010, so he's been around, you know what I mean? But he also hasn't played football since 2022 in Philadelphia. That was his final season, but has now announced his retirement. He did start all 16 games in his lone season with the Rams and notched 4.5 sacks. I did read an article, I think it was Yahoo, that said that he missed the playoffs due to injury. And then my brain broke because I don't think that that's true. I'm pretty sure that he played every game, including the Super Bowl. But somebody on Yahoo Sports said he didn't, and now my brain... I saw it, and then I started recording, so give me a little bit of a break. I don't know. I don't think that's true, though. He played. That's the news. Yes, and camp coming your way. Rookies and vets do report on July 22nd, so rather soon, dude, right around the corner. If you are heading to camp, be sure to share photos and all that good stuff. I absolutely love seeing that stuff, especially when people are coming over and doing the autos and all that stuff, the autographs. And we will actually dive into more camp stuff, actually, this next episode. We have some other cool stuff planned for you as well. I don't want to give anything away, though, all right? So we're just going to leave it at that. We got some cool stuff headed your way. Speaking of cool things that are headed your way, fan quesos. That's on the other side of this break. Ram Showcase. Welcome back in Ram Showcase. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. We're kind of flying through this episode a little bit quicker than last week. Maybe I'm feeling a little less chatty. I don't know what's better or worse, though. I get different comments depending on the kind of episode that I have, and it's always dependent on my mood. Not that I'm in a bad mood or anything like that. I just feel like I'm flying through this. But, yeah, sometimes people are like, you just ramble, man. And then some people... True. First of all, I'm not here to disprove that at all. Look at what we're doing right now. Yeah, and then some people they like when I'm going further and go off on my tangents and all that stuff. And then some people say they're like, that was too quick. I don't no details, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I think that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Let's get into fan quesos here. I think we only got them on YouTube, so we're just gonna head down this list. I did see a few of these, at least a few, and Rams House and Payo Time bringing the heat. I'm just going to start with that. Some crazy questions in here, at least from what I can vaguely remember from reading them earlier. All right, let's go ahead and head down this list. Rams house. Whose house? What would it be like having Davante Adams as a coworker? I feel like this, no disrespect intended, Davante Adams, would be probably one of the more boring coworkers to have. I feel like it wouldn't be that exciting. He just wants to come in, do his job, and go home. Like, you're trying to have a conversation with him after work, and he's like, hey, all right, I got it. I'm just going to go. Like, he's like that kind of guy. And while you're there, like, he'll joke with you and stuff like that. You're waiting for your Hot Pockets to microwave or something like that, and he's, he's stirring his cup of coffee. He'll stand there and he'll joke with you and he'll have a good time like that, but then he's going to get back to work, all right? I feel like there's no messing around for Davante Adams. So while it would be cool to work with Davante Adams, I don't think he would like my job at all. But while that would be really fun, I think it would be ultimately a little bit boring, with zero disrespect intended for Davante Adams. If anything, that's a compliment, dude. He's just a worker, and we could all learn a thing or two about him. And by we could all, I mean me. What can he do? Next up here, if A.J. Jackson, this is from Rams House as well. If A.J. Jackson misses most/all of the season, do you think that derails our Super Bowl hopes? Why can't we just have nice things? I mean, it definitely hurts my feelings, and I would say our offense is better when he's on the field, but I wouldn't say it derails our Super Bowl hopes. We got some really good depth pieces at this spot here. I think Warren McClendon seems to be getting a lot of reps there, so that's a good sign that he's at least getting, some comfort level there. He's gotten plenty of reps in preseasons and stuff like that, so obviously we would look for that this season as well. But I do think that his snap numbers could tell us how the team feels about him too. I mean, if he's not playing in preseason, maybe that means we need him. so something to keep our eyes on. But then there's also the other guys to look out for. DJ Humphries coming in, veteran, plenty of experience. I would feel very comfortable with him playing in that spot. David Quessenberry, we talked about him last week. When the Rams played the Vikings in prime time in the regular season, Quessenberry had to come in for Darisaw and was just getting absolutely lit up by Jared Verse. We've talked about that. If you judge a book by its cover ability to block Jared Verse or something, you get the... That sentence fell apart on me, but I think you understand what I mean, so that's good. But I think that any of these guys, I think that ultimately, I don't think it would be Quessenberry. I think he's more of a depth piece, but I think that DJ Humphries or Warren McClendon, I at least feel good about it going into it and seeing how they do. And then we do have that option, too, that if they're not doing it, then we do have that other option. So we can just swap them out and then see who works best, you know what I mean? Because, who's also going to work best with Steve next to them and stuff like that. So I think that'll be important. But no, I wouldn't say it derails our Super Bowl hopes. I think really there's one person that can derail our Super Bowl hopes if they go out, and I think that that's Matthew Stafford. I think that any other one player can go out, and we would be okay. We've got somebody there. Matthew Stafford, though, if he goes out, I don't think that we're a Super Bowl team. I just don't. I don't think we are with Jimmy Garoppolo. Do I think that Jimmy Garoppolo could put together enough games and not screw it up enough to get us to a Super Bowl and maybe win it? Yeah. But I think that if we have Matthew Stafford, we're legitimate, other teams are watching out for us. You know what I mean? I don't know if that my point makes sense. But that's exactly what I mean. Oof. We're doing great over here, guys. It's been a long weekend. Next up, Rams House again. How did this birthday rank amongst your other birthdays you've celebrated in your lifetime? I'm sure it didn't top the Rock and Roll and NFL Hall of Fame trip you had last year. You're absolutely correct. So, 2 years ago, I did some axe throwing as part of a promotional thing. I got a sponsorship, an endorsement through my radio job. So we did that and then went out for beers and stuff like that. So that was really fun. That was a great time. Great people, stuff like that. Last year, me and my dad went out to Cleveland. That was my birthday event. My birthday is July 9th, 1991. But I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the day before, so on the 8th last year. And then on my birthday, turning 33, we went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is my favorite place. I absolutely love it. SoFi Stadium and then the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Absolutely unbelievable. Can't wait to go back. I will very soon because I absolutely love it. So there's something about Cleveland. I don't know. Cleveland has always been a city that's I feel like is drawing me in, and I can't figure out why. I don't know, man. But I know that it is in Canton, but that's not that far. But either way, this year what I did was it was about 100 degrees in Denver, and Summer of Loud came through. So it was like Killswitch Engage, Beartooth, I Prevail, and then one of my favorite bands, Parkway Drive, was in town. So got to see them. Absolutely incredible. Had it so much fun. Fell in love in the crowd. I didn't get her number or anything, so it doesn't matter. But she was wonderful. And yeah, this one was absolutely great, dude. I've got no complaints, man. Turning 34, we're bringing it in with a concert, and getting silly with a few adult pops. Absolutely love that, dude. There's no complaints on this end. But yeah, last year I don't think that'll get topped, and that's actually something I kind of want to do. I want to make that like my birthday thing. I want to go out there like every year. I just think that'd be so fun. So, yeah, good question, man. Love that. Next one here from Rams House. How funny would it be if we played the Lions and our entire stadium chanted Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford? Yo, so I think that'd be hilarious. It would be a fun poke at the Jared Goff chants. Yo, I love this. I love this. If I go, I'm trying to do this for sure. That is so funny and so good. Because like I've reached that point now. It's like where like now we're getting those comments like Jared Goff being like, I wish they were more mature about it. It's like you're going into the 5th year as a Lion. Leave us alone. Like keep my name out your mouth, Jared. You know what I mean? Like move on, dude. Like you're good now. You're fine. Like get out of here, man. Like we love you for what you did, but it's year 5 for Detroit, dude. Stop talking about us now. Stop playing the sympathy card and being like, well, they didn't even want me. Like okay. Go win a Super Bowl then for your team, dude. Like you're stacked, right? You guys are so good. Go do it then, man. Go do it, my guy. But anyway, that's not the point of any of that. But yeah, I think that this would be really, really fun. Just yelling Matthew Stafford, just chanting that. I think you're on to something here, man. I think you're on to something. Next question here coming from Paul. What is your prediction for the Rams record this season? That's a very good question. I've not really thought about this. I'm not a big record predictor guy, but because I was like, I think in my brain, the only thing I care about right now is Houston. You know what I mean? It's like the schedule came out and it was like, all right, Texans, you're on, dude. Which that's like been where my brain is at. Week 2, I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on, Tennessee, and then 2 Philly. That's as far as I've gotten in the schedule in like my brain. That Philly game just mainly because the timing irritates me. I hate the timing of that game. That's so stupid, dude. That's blatantly a primetime action. And they put that on the early slot in week 3. Are you kidding me, NFL schedule makers? What are you doing out here, dude? It's like, did you just let Madden create the next year's schedule and just like, yeah, that'll work? Like, come on. I feel like the Rams schedule was like an afterthought on the whole thing. But either way, I think that getting our AFC games out early is a decision. All 5 of our AFC games in our first 7. So that's going to be a little bit more, I think, dicey than people think. We're probably going to lose some games early that we really shouldn't. That seems to be a little bit of a trend in these past few years, that there's some early season games where we're like, we're better than them. I mean, come on. And then we really turn it on. Like it gets to like November, and then, something happens. A bye week happens, and then the Rams, Fort Minor starts playing in the locker room and stuff, and then it's on from there. So if I had to give a record prediction right now, I'm feeling really good about this team, but again, I do think there's some random games that we shouldn't lose that we do. I'm going to say that we win 11 games. I think that this is an 11-win team, again, with some of those being like, I shouldn't have lost that. Like, that one sucked. Like, losing to, like, Arizona, where it's like, yeah, we lost Arizona, but we're better than they are. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be some of those. So I think 11 wins. I think we win the NFC West. I think we get a home game at SoFi Stadium. That's actually a home game at SoFi Stadium this year, barring anything crazy, obviously. But I think that this is an 11-win team, I think. Collaboration question. All right. Let's see here. This is from Rams House. You can collaborate with one team in the NFC West to bring on 5 players in their history to help add to our current team. These players would be brought on in their prime. What team would you choose to pilfer players from? Is that a word? To help us this year. That's That's a great question. Because I don't want to say San Fran, you know what I mean? But they've had some really good players, man. Not Arizona. I don't think Arizona has 5 players in their history that I would want on the Rams ever. Like that, I don't think they've ever had 5 good enough players that I'd be like, yeah. But it's like Larry Fitzgerald, end of list. Let's see. Yeah, I think it would have to be San Fran, and it would have to be the Rice and like Roger Craig and like, oh man, yeah. There's some monsters out there, man. Historically speaking, here, but I like to think too that if any of the other teams were asked this, then they would probably go Rams, right? Am I being biased by saying that? Like, am I being biased by saying if you asked a Niners fan this, that they would definitely say the Rams? Or if Seattle, that they would definitely pick us? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased there, but I feel like I would have to go with the 49ers. As much as that hurts my heart, I don't like to say anything good about them. Like Brandon Ayuk, all right? I hate the 49ers. Next one here would come from Payo Time. If you could transport a Rams player through space and time from the past of a non-McVay coach team to play in the 2025 season, love this question. Any player that never played under McVay is fair game. I would pick Steven Jackson. Kyren and Jackson as a 1-2 punch would be amazing. You're right, and mainly that's because Kyren Williams would want to show off for his hero. For sure, dude. That would be absolutely incredible. I think that the play style of a Marshall Faulk in a Sean McVay offense would be absolutely pinnacle, but you're also correct with Steven Jackson. You're not wrong by saying Steven Jackson. I just think that catching out of the backfield, being able to split out wide for Marshall Faulk, again, I know Steven Jackson did these things, but Marshall Faulk was just like, I mean, Hall of Fame, just absolute stud. I think that would be rather exciting to watch for sure. But also you got the route running of like an Isaac Bruce that I think would be absolutely great. And Torrey Holt as well, I think would be, just the things that he would scheme up for those guys would be just insane. So yeah, I think you're not wrong. Picking Steven Jackson and pairing him with Kyren would be rather sick. But I think ultimately, if I had to pick just one name, I think I'm going with Marshall Faulk because his ability to catch out of the backfield and then obviously his patience running the football, yeah, his vision and stuff like that in a McVay offense, that's scary times, dude, for sure. Going back to Rams house, what would you think of Ethan Evans being our guy to execute the tush push? Yo. You're on to something here. That's not even the end of the question. So think about it. He squats more than Jalen Hurts. Big facts, dude. Who can stop the leg drive of Ethan Evans? Dude, no lie. This is the biggest brain question I've ever... What do I think of that? Yes. I love it, dude. Do that now. That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Who's stopping him? Nobody, dude. Nobody. Good call, bro. Good call. Next one here from Rams House. Sean McVay decides he wants to have a year off of coaching. He gives you a clean slate of a roster, and you can pick one player to build around on offense and defense from Rams history. You will get these 2 players in their prime. What 2 players do you pick to build around? I think this is a fairly easy question. Because I go trenches. If I got to go one on each side, trenches are where I'm going. I'm protecting the blind side. Give me Orlando Pace, left tackle, absolute stud, dude. Like brick wall over there on the left side, absolutely. And defense, is there a question about it? No. It's Aaron Donald. His whole career was his prime, though. So pick what year, dude. I don't even know. Like those, like that 2018, that was insane. 17, Aaron Donald was crazy. 21, Aaron Donald was crazy. There's a lot of good Aaron Donald years. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if I would say. It's so hard to say what Aaron Donald's prime was. I think he's probably still in it. But yeah, man, I'm going Orlando Pace, and I'm going Aaron Donald. Next one here from Payo Time. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Les Snead. Joe, this is Les from the Los Angeles Rams. We're thinking of drafting you right here. Are you okay with that? Joe, what's your reaction? This is an old phone. So, yeah, hello? It's Les Snead, Los Angeles Rams. We're ready to draft you. Drafting me? You want to win games and you're drafting me? I mean, I'm absolutely. You'll get the best me, but I don't know if that's very good. That's about what I got for you, man. Yeah, I would do it. I would do whatever they'd ask, dude. They could be like, all right, you're taking over for Kevin Dotson this game. I'm like, all right. I would bring it, dude. I would bring my best. But I would be fearful that my best is not good enough to be. Yeah, if it, like, all right, dude, you're gonna cover Justin Jefferson on this route. To be like, all right, just want to give him the 6, I guess. I don't know, man. It'd be fun though. It'd be fun. I would try. I'll try so hard, dude. I would try so hard because imagine on the off chance, okay? Well, just on the off chance something amazing happens, right? I'm being covered by, Patrick Surtain the second, and and I make a move and catch a touchdown pass. What if, dude? Probably not, but what if? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Next one here from Rams House. If you could delete one play from Rams history forever, as if it never existed, what play would that be? If you could have one Rams play be replayed every day on TV, what play would that be? Ooh, two-parter. I love this one. So I think that one of my I want to say that the Nickel Roby-Coleman no call in the NFC Championship. I wish that one would go away. And that's simply because that wasn't a good play anyway. And I don't want it to disappear or anything like that, but I want it to instead be the pick 6 that it should have been. Because Saints fans are out here acting like that was a good play. Like that was a good decision by Drew Brees. That was a terrible decision. It should have been a pick 6. And that would have just, instead of a no call putting the dagger of just, a bunch of tiny daggers, I would say, in the hearts of the New Orleans Saints in their city, that would have been just a stake being just absolutely just rammed through the front of the skull into to the city, And maybe that's a little too violent, but it's like they thought that game was so close and stuff like that, and it was. Scoreboard-wise, it was close, but the Rams played so well that day, and I think that if you just take that play away, make that play for what it should have been, which is a pick 6 by NRC, going all the way to the other side there, which would have made it a 9 and then most likely a 10-point game. Game over, dude. It's over. Crowd's leaving. It's all quiet. Rams are doing a bunch of these to the crowd and stuff like that. Yeah, and it ends. And then the football gods don't punish us in the Super Bowl. Tell me I'm wrong. We got punished. Super Bowl gods were like, we can't just let this slide though. And they didn't. They gave it. We got one back, dude. We got it a couple years later, but we were not allowed to win that game. We weren't allowed to. The Saints, I don't know, man. It was voodoo. That's the only explanation. Last one here, coming from Payo Time. What team record of the Rams would you think is more likely to be broken in 2025? Sacks, total offense, points? You pick. That's a really good question because we have some really, really big records out there as far as the season goes. So, like, obviously sacks. God, what is our number? I want to say 47, 48. Might even be more than that. Yeah, man, there's some really good ones, and our offense is killer this year. I am very pumped for a Rams offense this season. So I'm gonna actually say, I'm gonna go points, man. We got an extra game to do it. I think that with Devontae Adams, I think that's such a great addition, dude. Like I think Devontae goes for like 1,200 and double digit touchdowns out here. I think it's gonna be a really good year for this Rams offense. Puka Nacua is a future Hall of Famer. We've already known that. Matthew Stafford is feeling good going into another season in the NFL. I think Sean McVay has reached a level of maturity that I don't think should be understated. I think he's done such a great job these last few years of like really honing in and being learning, you know what I mean, and progressing. I think that 2022 season really changed a lot for Sean McVay, and I think that we're seeing a better version than even the Super Bowl winning Sean McVay. I think that this is a better version of that. So I would say that overall, I think that this offense is going to do really, really well this year. Defense, I'm excited for too. We got some killers out there. We could definitely be hitting some sack records, but I would say that points being scored. Give me that extra game. Give me that and some absolute studs out here on offense. And I'm going to go ahead and say that that's the one that gets taken there. Thank you for your fan quesos. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's going to do it for me, I think. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think I'm out of words to say to you. Make sure you follow on all your favorite social media. That's at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. You can follow along as well at ramshowcase.com. If you're interested in being like a feature or like a guest writer or anything like that, dude, reach out to me. We can absolutely make that happen. Derek did one on Aaron Donald, and it was absolutely pinnacle. The Tuna and the Sheriff, make sure to check that out. Available everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's up on, Apple and Spotify and all that good stuff. So be sure to check that out as well. More episodes of Fanterrogation are on the way. That's been a little bit of a weird one. And then I am still trying to make some progress on my feature that I've been making. It did get a little halted once I moved, and then I have another job now, so that's been very hard to find time to do. But I love it, and I still want to do it. I'm making some fun progress on that, so I definitely want to get that out. Hopefully before the season starts, but we are back to weekly episodes. We're in July now, training camp stuff. Talk about that next week, as well as another peek around the rest of the league. So be sure to check that out. But that is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fan-Sided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.